Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to come online so that it's going to be a blessing for all of us together. I'm sure those parents out there, fathers and mothers who are stressed out and who are depressed, sometimes we are stressed out looking into our children, the way they have been brought up, or sometimes we have so much challenging situation, not able to handle our children well at home. Your child could be a small child or grown up or little adult maybe, but for all situations of our children, there should be some principles, some methods that we can follow, and by doing that, I'm sure we will be able to see some good fruits. Mm, Many times our situation these days are like our children, they tell to us, Mama, you do not know anything, Papa, you do not know anything, and you listen to me, I'm not going to listen to you. At many situations, we sit and think, oh, am I a parent or my child is parenting me? So, how well parents obey their children. This is a Chinese story, like I'm in a Japanese story. How well parents obey their children. Is that our situation today? That instead of our children listening to us, we are in a position that we have to listen to them. Have you ever felt that way? That this is a situation with me and my child, the relationship. Uh, at many times we see our child misbehaving in the community. Sometimes they start first behaving in our homes first. They misbehave in our home, not listening to the father, not listening to the mother. They want to be the way they want to be, and they sometimes turn to be more stubborn, and you name all those things which can make you frustrating and you feel helpless. Sometimes they not only misbehave in the home, they go out in the community and where the joint families are together, where your friends and relatives are together, and in the community they misbehave so bad that at times you have to be ashamed of yourself being a father, mother, being a parent, the way you have brought up your son. For example, if you're in a cold country, it's winter, it's snowing, and if you see your child walking barefoot in the street and you ask for help to people, people will surely tell, oh, you should be ashamed for the way that you have brought up your son, your daughter. Or if you are in a hot place, it's too sunny and extremely hot, and you see the heat waves, and your son or your daughter goes barefoot or not well, not protected, and then when we look into people ask for help, they will simply say, you have not grown your child in a good way, and we should be ashamed. At many times I've seen uh, parents being ashamed for the acts their children do in the community, in the place, in the public. So is that the problem? Today most parents are struggling to train their children. They are finding very hard. Well, the Bible says, and the man of wisdom has written in Proverbs 22, verse 6, that train up a child in the way that he should go and grow, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Yes, but how? How to train my child, how to bring up my child? There should be certainly some methods. Okay, most of the times we are all workers, either for the government or for the private sector, or a social worker or a spiritual worker, you name, or you're working for the nation. um, in terms of protection or in terms of serving the community, we do all work, and sometimes we are business people, businessmen working day and night, or you may be an office worker, you may be working in a big mall, you name whatever you may be. As parents, you may be working day and night to make some earning, to get some food, to find some place, and then buy your house and do everything. At times, we see parents living far away to a far country to make a better living, to earn a better money, so that they can have their own house, or they can educate their children, they can have what they want. But at the end of doing everything, you work day and night, and you have bought your land, you have bought your house, you have bought your car, you name everything, but you see into children, they are helpless. They're totally miserable. They have not been grown well. They have not had their education. They don't know how to behave in the community. At the end, you will see, oh, all the work that I did is of no use, because The child that I have brought to the world is of no use, and they have not been trained well. So our work has to first start in our home. We may be working outside to make our earning, to make our bread, fine, that's okay, but then still, what's the use of doing everything and I have not taken care or brought up my child in the proper way, and in that way it's not going to be a blessing at the end. So we have to start our investment right in our home, giving attention and focusing our focus on our child, and that's an investment, and at the end we will surely see a beautiful result. So you may be a gospel worker, you may be a businessman, you may be a social worker, you may be working for the government, you may be working for the private, you may be a businessman, you may be located in different parts of the world for the sake of your work. But this is the time we have to sit and think, what is my child doing? Am I investing on my child in terms of being with them and then to see that they bring good fruit? How to train our child, how to train our children? Well, there should be certainly some principles, some methods that we can apply. In the health sector, there are some do's and don'ts. And likewise, in bringing up a child, in training our children, there should be some do's and don'ts. And when we look into those do's and don'ts, and especially the do's, certainly we will have some fruit out of it, I'm sure. So, um, if you don't spend time to spend with your children, you will never train them for a good future. You will never train them for a good nation, for Jesus Christ, or whatever the area of life you want to see your child to be fruitful. So if you don't spend time to spend with your children, you will never train them up for a good future and in a spiritual world for God's kingdom also. This is where society has failed. This is where the parents have failed these days to focus on their children. So number one is that we can do to our children is to see the principle in training up our children, our sons and our daughters should be time. As a father, as mother, as parents, we have to set time, give time, spend time, invest time on our children. And that's why if you don't spend time to spend with your children, you will never train them for Jesus Christ. You will never train them for a good future. You will never see them training to be fruitful to themselves and to you and to the community. So overall, as parents and in our society, we see this has become a failure, giving time to our children. Sometimes we leave our son, leave our daughter, we leave our children before the television. There are so many channels for children. You name cartoons, you name nature, you name music, you name cinemas, you name anything and everything is available. Hundreds of channels are available on the television for our children. We leave the children before the television. If they cry, put on the television. If they're not eating, put on the television. Sometimes we leave our children their creche. Sometimes we leave our children with our grandmas and with their grandmas and grandpas, with their relatives. We put them in the play school. We leave them in the preschool. You put them in the babysitting. You name anything for that matter. The television or the creche, the grandpa, grandmas, the preschools, play schools, and the creche and the babysitting classes that can never replace the time that a father and mother can give to the child. So are we sometimes satisfied? Oh, I'm out of it. My son is before the television. My daughter is there in the creche. Somebody's taking care, and I'm free. I've heard fathers telling, I don't go home earlier because my son is awake. And if I go home, he will trouble me like anything and he will not let me do anything. So I go home late night after 11 o'clock. By then, my son will sleep. And I wake up early morning and I leave home before my son wakes up. I've seen many fathers saying that one. And for fathers like that who don't spend time, that shows what investment they are doing on the child, and the future will be of a great challenge. Sometimes they will reap a very bitter experiences because of that one. Why is spending time with your children so important? Why is it Very important. It is important for parents to spend quality time with children. In this fast paced world, we have to make space for our kids and assure them that we care about them and will always be there as pillars of support. They need our love, kindness, and strength so that they feel secure and confident with themselves. So, for them to feel secure and confident, for them to feel our love and kindness, we have to give our time to our children. So, how much time should a parent spend with their child? How much time? Well, the child is there in your home and you are in the home and your presence is there, but I'm talking about the very personal time that you're going to be near your child. Spend exclusively that time with your child. Parents spend about 2 hours a day exclusively focusing on their children when the kids are 6 years old or younger, but devote only half that time to kids age 6 to 12. In some places, while feeding the child or while bathing the child or putting the child in the sleep, um, when the child cries, when the child makes some trouble, we go attend to them. That's it. That's not a time I'm talking about. I'm talking about a time that exclusively, not while they cry, not while they made toilet, not while they need to have a bath, not while they want to have their feed. Apart from that, exclusively two hours just being with them, spending time with them is very important. But hardly we see half an hour spent by parents. Some they do spend a little more time and they see some good things in that. Parents should allow nothing to prevent them from giving to their children all the time that is necessary to make them understand what it means to obey and what it means to trust. Trusting and obeying God and trusting and obeying their parents and learning to respect and obey and trust the elderly people. So Proverbs says in Proverbs 27 verse 23, the man of wisdom has written, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flock. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flock. The margin is here. Set thy heart. To set our heart, every parents must set their hearts to know the state of their children, the well-being of their children, the needs of their children. To do this, we must take time. So if you want to be diligent upon your child, if you want to set your heart on the child, you need to set time for them. Here are few tips that I could recommend. Um, these tips have really helped me, my wife, and we are learning as well. And I'm sure that as we learn together, this will surely help you too. The tips for busy families, if you're a businessman or if you're a working father, mother, and there's no help at home for you, or your parents are there and relatives are there, the child is under somebody's care, whatever the situation it may be. Here are some tips for busy families, for busy fathers and mothers. Number one, have a daily connect time with your child. Do this face to face. Daily have a time to connect with your child and that face to face if possible. But if it isn't an option, then create a routine of doing so in other ways, such as leaving a note in your child's lunchbox or school bag or in their bed, or post a note on their toothbrush or the way they go and wash their faces. Write an encouraging saying on a shared wardrobe or in the house or in a lawn, in a living room. That's the way. Number one is to daily connect. Have a daily connect time. And number two, create a special ritual for you and your child. The ritual could be, seeking the divine grace, seeking the divine help, uh, looking into the Creator God. Create a special ritual for you and for your child. That could be a family prayer. That could be somewhere you could think of the good thing God has done. Something that can be done every day. For example, let your child choose and read one of the Bible passage that he she likes or the book that he she likes during the bedtime or before the bedtime. And number three, tell your child you love her, love him every day, and tell her how important he is to you and how he makes you feel. And that's number three. Number four, reinforce positive behavior. We have to force positive behaviors to our children. For example, if your child completes his her course without any asking, their homework, their daily duties, acknowledge it with the words of appreciation. Even if you don't have that chance to do until the next day, use words of appreciation. Say thank you, you did very well, you did good. Learn to appreciate and thank your child for the achievement. And number five, make and eat meals with your children whenever possible. Sit together as a family and spend time with your child and sit and eat along with your child, with your children. If time is limited in a busy family, look for example, you can have meals that request very little preparation. Need not be a big preparation. Or grasp a healthy snack such as some oranges or mangoes or apples, and sit for a few minutes and chat with your child, with your son, with your daughter, and they are going to feel they are being loved, and that's going to be a blessing for the child and for the mother as well. And number six, schedule time for doing an activity of your child's choosing. Ask your child to choose something and schedule that time, and just do what the child likes. Be sure to follow through the activity without any distractions. The child may say, Mama, I would like to go for a walk in the park. Schedule your time and go just along with your child and go to the park. The child would like to maybe go for a cycling or play, or whatever the child requests, a swim or whatever. And when they schedule time for doing an activity with your child, climbing on the trees or making their own gardens, you name whatever it could be. And when you schedule time, be sure to follow through and complete the activity without any distractions. While the child isn't doing the scheduled time with you, don't use that time and say, I have got a phone call, I need to cook, I need to do this, I need to do that. And don't distract by anything. Just give the time to your child. And number seven, play with your child. Playing with a child is going to help you, empower you. If you are stressed or depressed, just see the child, spend some time with the children. That's a blessing. Even if it's during bath time or outside before you drop her to the school or to the preschool, every little bit of time makes a positive impact. So try to try to play with your children. When was the last time that you played with your child? If a boy, maybe the boy loves playing with a ball or cricket or football, um, cycling, something adventurous. If it is a child, daughter, then the feminine related games, the games that which will empower your child. Play with your sons, with your daughters. Number eight, laugh and be silly with your child. Don't be always be serious. Every time serious, serious, study, study, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. Every time showing the anger face, every time showing like a military, every time showing as a big officer like the school teacher, the school headmaster, or the principal, always being serious. No, learn to laugh and be silly with your child. And by doing that, you're giving time and it's going to be a blessing for the child. And number nine, turn off all the technologies. To spend time with your child, turn off technology when you spend time with your child. Try not to text or call answers or answer any phone calls, scrolling through the social medias or watching television when you give time to your child. Switch off all those things and you be there. Number 10, just be there with your child and enjoy every single minute. Being there beside your child and just letting your child know that I am there this time, I'm with you. Mama, Dada, we are with you. Oh, the child is going to be empowered. You might ask, what's What's the benefit if I'm going to give my time to my child? What's the benefit if, as a family, we give our time to a child? There are certainly benefits. I could number a lot. You could search a lot. You could name more than what I'm going to number it right here. Number one, the benefit of you giving time to your children is it's going to strengthen your bond with your child. It's going to strengthen the family bond by giving time. Number two, by spending time with your child, it will improve the child's academic performance. You're going to watch every time what the child is doing. And by giving time, you're going to surely help your child's education in clarifying their doubts, helping them in doing their homework. So spending time with your child will improve academic performance. And number three, spending time with your child will help the children to develop parenting skills. And when they become a parent, when they grow, when they get married, they're going to have the memories of how you have spent time with your children. And when they become parents, they are going to give the same thing, even better than what you did. So spending time with your child and in the family, it's going to help children develop parenting skills. Number four, when you spend time with your children, it's going to result uh, in less behavioral problems. You see, children who don't have their parents beside them, or parents who don't spend quality time with the children, they are the ones who land up in a lot of behavioral disorders and behavioral problems. So being in the family and spending time with your children is going to result in less behavioral problem. You need not take your child to a psychiatrist. You need not be ashamed of your child in the public. You need not see your child being violent at home. And number five, by spending time with your children, it will develop positive behaviors with our children. So spending time is going to develop positive behavior with the children. Number six, spending time is going to result in less violence because you're there every time, and the law will change the arrogancy. So spending time with your children will result in less violence. And number seven, spending time with your children, the benefit is means less chance of drug abuse. You know how many of children before they could become major while they are still minor, they land up in smoking, they land up in drinking alcohol, they land up in having drugs. They've got wrong fellowship, wrong friendship, bad friendship in the schools, all because parents have not focused or have not invested time over their children. And by giving more time to your children and spending time with your children, the benefit is you will see that there is no chance and less chance of drug abuse. And number eight, spending time with your children, the benefit is a family result in greater happiness. Your child is going to be happy and you're going to be happy. You see, when the child is happy, the parents are happy, the family is going to be happy. And number nine, more time with your children. The benefit of spending more time with the children will lead to greater self-confidence. It's going to give them self-confidence and build children's self-esteem. The child will worth herself. Sometimes they will have their dignity restored. They will not look down at themselves. So spending time with your children is going to strengthen their self-esteem. Is going to give them confidence. Number 10, the benefit of spending time with your children, it is going to it will resolve conflicts. Spending time will result in conflict resolution skills. They are seeing the child will see the father mother when challenges comes, when hard times comes, when there are situations where they don't have any enough money or struggles, when sickness comes. They are seeing how the parents are managing. So as a family, when we are together spending time, the child is learning to to solve the situation, or conflict resolution skills is developed when we spend time with our children. Number 11, more chance of success. We will see our children succeeding in their education, succeeding in their work, succeeding in their future, succeeding in their married life. And number 12, spending time, it can help your children to be a good friend. It encourages communication. By spending more time with your children, now your relationship with your child will be more like a friend. the a friend in need is a friend indeed, and the child is there for you and you are there for the child, and the communication gap is not there, and you're going to have a wonderful time. So, dear children, dear viewers, and dear members, I just want to encourage you in bringing up your children. Spend time, invest on your